let us start our presentation of today. So we are continuing Java programming. This is presentation 2. So let us start from control statement in Java. So you learned control statements in other programming languages. It is the same concept. It is the same control statements. They are the same. If you understand the logic in PHP, so it means you understand the logic in Java and in other programming languages. So they are the same. What changes is the syntax. So the syntax of PHP is different from the syntax of Java and so on. So now, what is a control statement? A control statement in Java is a statement that determines whether the other statements will be executed or not. It controls the flow of the program. Okay, so as its name indicates, it is a control statement. It controls how statements execute. It decides which statement to execute and which one to skip. So they are control statement. An if statement in Java determines the sequence of execution between a set of two statements. So an if determines decides whether a given block should be executed or not. Control statements can be divided into 3 categories. We have selection statements, we have iteration statements, and we have jump statements. So let us start from selection statements or decision-making statements. They are the same. Decision-making statements. They are statements that determine which statement to execute and when. They are known as decision-making statements because they are used to make decisions which statement to execute and when to execute those statements. The flow of execution of the program is controlled by control flow statements. There are 4 decision-making statements available in Java. We have simple if statements, we have if-else statements, we have nested if statements, and we have switch case. You can call it switch case or switch statement. So let us see how simple if works. The if statement determines whether a code should be executed based on a specific condition. This if executes its block of code if the condition is true. Okay, if the condition is true, the codes will be executed. If the condition is false, there is no execution of codes. Okay, so we have if block. If block, there are codes between those braces. We have the opening brace, we have the opening brace and the closing. If the syntax, we have if, then condition. If the condition is true, there is a block of codes to be executed. So if the condition is true, those codes will be executed. Otherwise, it will do nothing. This is how simple if statement work. So we can do it practically and see. We have let us choose the type is Java. Then let us save it, save as. You remember how to run the Java code. So let me call it if dot Java. If capital, because if you call it if small letter, it will not be accepted because if is a result keyword. So you have to use capital letter so that it is different, it becomes different from the if, which is a result keyword. You remember rules of naming file, a variable, and so on. Plus if public static void main public static void main string at system dot out dot print testing if condition. So it is saved where to Java Pro. So we can save it. Now let us open. So I'm showing you how we can run these programs in CMD, but I will also show you how you can use an IDE. You can use Eclipse or NetBeans. So if you use NetBeans or Eclipse and IDE, so the development speed becomes is increased. So it is better to know how you can execute your programs in CMD, but for quick development of your project, so it is better to use an IDE, integrated development environment. In our Java, the IDE we can use, we have NetBeans, we have Eclipse. Okay, so but we can also use text editors like this Supreme Text. We can also use Notepad and so on. So if you use text editors to write your program, so you will use CMD, command prompt, to run it. But if you use an IDE, so you write your program, you run it in your IDE. So let us run this, but next programs will be developed and run in an IDE. So it is better if you are familiar with IDEs because you can quickly develop applications by using IDE instead of this text editors. So let us open CMD command prompt. Microsoft DOS, you can call it the way you want. So my programs are stored in web, Java Pro. Then let us compile. Compiling, it is Java compiler. Then I'm compiling if.java. Okay, if.java. If I press enter, I'm compiling. If there is an error will be displayed and I can correct my error. If there is no error, it is okay. I can proceed. So it means there is no error. So after compiling, I can run. To run, I type Java, then if you don't, if I'm running, I don't put .java. Okay, so I will put an extension .java if I'm compiling. But for running, there is no need to put an extension again. So you can see the output testing if condition. So the program is running successfully. So I can declare my variable num equals 20, 30. So I'm going to check if the number is positive. Then I display the message the number is positive. If num is greater than 0, this is the indication, the condition which checks if my number is positive. Then system dot out dot print the number is positive. So you see there is no S. There is no S. This is why if the condition is true, this code will be executed. The message will be displayed. But if the condition is not true, there is nothing to be done. If the condition is not true, nothing will be done by this if. So we can, after saving the change, we can compile again. After compilation, we can run. So you see, because the condition is true, we are getting the output. The condition is true, and we are getting the output. Okay, so we can see the output of our program. The number is positive. Suppose we are changing our code so that, so you see, if I run, I will receive the output. The only message which will be displayed is the number is positive. You can see it. The number is positive. It is the only message which is displayed. Suppose our condition is false. Let us make our condition false. You see, if num is equal to 0, num is equal to 30, you see it is not equal to 0. Because this condition is not true, this message will not be displayed. Okay, you see, if the condition is false, it will do nothing. That is why we are compiling. The compilation is successful, then let us run and see. So if we run, there is no display. There is no code which is executed. So you see that it is a decision-making statement. We have written our code, but our code is not being executed because if it's deciding, okay, it is making a decision. The code will be executed or it will not be executed. So that is how an if works. So we can, because we have seen how we can write and run our codes by using a text editor and CMD. So let us see how we can run our program by using an IDE. From now on, we shall be using our IDEs. So you have to install NetBeans. NetBeans. I shared a link of download of NetBeans in the previous presentation. There is a link of downloading and installing the NetBeans. So me, I have downloaded and installed the NetBeans. I can start using it. So if you open NetBeans, you will see the home screen, the starting screen, which is this one. Then afterwards, you can create a new project by clicking on new project button. Then you have to choose Java application, Java, then Java application next. So what is the name of our, let me create a folder which is called the work document. Our programs are saved in NetBeans project, NetBeans projects. Let me create a folder. Which is work. Then after creating my folder, let me create a project again. Then it is Java applications. Java applications next. Then let me browse and choose work NetBeans project. So it is project location users in the So NetBeans project where it it is not being displayed, it is okay. So we can save it here. Let us call it work. Then finish. Project name is work. Okay, finish. So the project is opening and configuring all necessary components required, and it is finishing background scanning of project. Then it is okay. You can see sample codes which are displayed, so there is no need of these. So now you see we are given sample codes, then we can edit these codes and put our. So let me see if I can increase the size options. Fonts. Font. So let me see how 48. No, 48 is too big. 24. So 24 is better. I think codes are clear. Then system.out.print testing IDE. So after writing, you have to run by using this code run project. So you click the run, then it is running. You can see work running. So you can see the output is displaying. Now, after getting the output, we can come back to our code. Now, we are testing how if work int num equals 30, then if num is greater than 0, then system.out.println the number is positive. So it is enough because it is an if. It checks the condition. If the condition is true, it executes codes and it stops. So if the condition is false, it does nothing. That's how it works. That is how it operates. So the output is coming. Now let us continue. I was showing you how you can run your programs in IDE, in NetBeans especially. So this is how simple if work. So if else, the only difference between if and if else is that if has a task to be done if the condition is true, and it has nothing to be done if the condition is false. Okay, but for if else, it has a task to be done if the condition is true, and it has something else to be done if the condition is false. This is how if else work. If the condition is specified is true, the if block is executed. Otherwise, the else block is executed. So it has two blocks, the if else. But simple if has only one block. For our if else, so if block will be executed if the condition is true. Otherwise, else block will be executed. Let us see. So we learn by doing. Let us check if this number is, so we can put an s system.out.print the number is negative. And if no, we are not using this editor anymore. So let us run it for now. You see the number is negative. Let us see if it is, the number is false. If greater than 0, positive, otherwise negative. Compile, then run. So the number is positive. So if we change the condition, let us change the condition. And let us now, it is a negative number because it is less than 0. Let us compile it and see. So the number is negative. Now, this is how it works. Now let us continue our IDE. So negative s system dot out dot print line the number is negative. So our semicolon, then run. You can also right click, then run file. So it is running